Okay, whenever you're ready, just lean back, close your eyes, take a deep breath in, fill your lungs up. Whenever your lungs are full up, then breathe out. Perfect. As you breathe, notice your aliveness responding to your ask for deeper and deeper breaths. Now, it's not my ask. From here, I can talk. That's all I can do. The connection you're making use of is between your mind and your body. You definitely have a mind-body connection, which is how your thoughts make an impact on how you feel. There's actually no hypnotist-to-body connection, so you can take each word I speak as literally a suggestion. It's just my best guess as to what you might need to hear to be more relaxed, more comfortable, more self-loving, more self-accepting, more self-confident, and more self-respecting. But where I say something and you agree, then you're never alone any longer for believing these things. And you're not crazy for thinking these self-loving, self-accepting, self-respecting thoughts. There's at least one other person in this room who believed these things before tonight, and then there's several other people by the end of tonight. Now I'm going to have you bring your attention up to the very top of your head. And imagine there's a wave of relaxation beginning to spread down your forehead and down to the muscles around your eyebrows and your eyelids. That's right. The same mind-body connection that gave you deeper breaths can now begin to relax the muscles of your face. So send thoughts and sentiments of relaxation to the muscles around your forehead and your eyebrows and your eyelids. That's right. Then send that softness down further to relax the muscles around your cheeks and your jaw and your mouth. And you can feel the muscles of your jaw softening because you're asking the muscles to relax and soften. It's important to give yourself credit for being the direct cause of any comfort or softness you feel in your jaw, because it's your mind-body connection that connects your self-soothing, self-loving thoughts with actually feeling soothed and loved in the muscles of your face. That's how after tonight, you're going to be able to love yourself without me talking to you. I'll disclaim any powers at all to cause you to feel any particular way. It's you who wields supreme power over yourself, and all another person can do is suggest. I'll endeavor to suggest good ideas. Ideas worth a child or an adult having to be among the self-loving people in the world. Now send that softness down from your jaw into your neck. That's right. Where you'd held tension, ask for those muscles to relax and soften, to let go and to loosen. And you can feel your body respond. Now you're going to be an excellent guardian to this body, because in adulthood, there's no one except you who is legitimately the guardian to your body. You're going to be the one guaranteeing you're never too tense or distressed for too long, because you've got something to say about it. And you're never going to be totally unloved by everybody, because you have a say in the matter. Then send that softness down through the muscles of your neck into your shoulders, And again, you might have held too much tension in your shoulders, and now you can say something about it by communicating through this mind-body connection to send loving thoughts, supportive thoughts, relaxing thoughts to the muscles of your shoulders, as though it's like you're getting a nice massage from the inside. Every time you feel a bit more incremental relaxation, you can go ahead and take all the credit, because you are the cause of this relaxation, and you shall be the cause of further relaxation later tonight, which proves the magic's not in me. It's in your connection between mind and body. It's this connection that previously had sometimes caused distress with uncurated thoughts, and which is going to cause you more of a sense that you shall love yourself, you shall respect yourself. Then send that softness down the muscles of your back, all of the way down to your lower back. That's right. Then send that softness down further into your hips. Wherever you'd held tension, give particular positive attention to those muscles. Then make sure you send the softness from your shoulders down your arms, down your biceps and down your triceps, into your forearms, into your wrists, into your hands, and all the way down to the very tips of your fingers. That's right. Then send that softness down into your lower body, down into your legs. Just like when you've been relaxing your neck and your shoulders, it's like you're giving your muscles a nice massage from the heart out. Now, this is what self-love might feel like. Just like you might lovingly massage a friend or a partner or even maybe a cat. Here you get to love yourself that completely and feel the positive consequences of giving yourself this much positive attention. This experience tonight is showing you that your self-love is in addition to the love that you have for others. It's not instead of. All your loved ones can be relaxed at the same time you are, and no one has to be tense. All your friends can be happy, including you, and no one has to be unhappy. And anyone's unhappiness in any case doesn't cause anyone who cares for you to become happier. Now, your emotions participate in a positive-sum game, so let us maximize the amount of peace, the amount of love, the amount of happiness that exists in this universe through your use of your heart to count yourself in among people you shall care for. Then send that softness all the way down through the muscles of your legs to the bottoms of your feet. That's right. From head to toe, you've given positive attention to all the major muscles from head to toe, and with good consequences. Your heart is an origin of more loving sentiments, more peace, more joy, more acceptance, more respect for the human beings on earth. And when your heart originates all this good stuff, you never have to fear running out. You can have plenty for yourself, plenty for your loved ones, plenty for your neighbors, plenty for animals and nature and music and everything else you care about. And the very next heartbeat generates more. Here I contradict every perspective that would suggest your self-love is too self-centered. as though you don't have enough for yourself and everyone else. I am claiming for your acceptance that your heart makes more of it so no one has to be exempt. We don't have to envy dogs, for example, that generate more happiness and love such that no one has to be exempt when we have perfectly fine human hearts to love with, and no one has to be exempt. Not you or anyone else. It's true, not everyone's a worthy and deserving recipient of your love, but perhaps you are. You are the one person who's been there since the very, very beginning and will be there until the end, even if one day you're 120 years old. You're the one person who's been with you through all the good times and all the bad, who's been around to witness all your triumphs and all your defeats. You're the one person who is always with you, night and day, no matter what. Perhaps it's a very high degree of self-love that is proportionate with the depth and the length of this relationship you have with yourself. Anything less than loving yourself like a lifelong friend would not be enough. More and more, as you use your heart to count yourself in and include yourself too, you can witness how nothing bad follows. From head to toe, you're completely alive. You're totally alive. And that's the only reason you'll ever need to love yourself by default, just like if there's a living cat or there's a living bird on your windowsill, there's no reason other than that they're alive for you to grant them love by default. You can still judge manufactured objects, but if someone were to give you a potted plant, perhaps you'd love even that little potted plant by default, especially if you can see the plant is happy and healthy. Loving the plant is the path of less resistance. If someone's dog lovingly looks up at you, it might be the path of less resistance to reciprocate that love. And I would suggest that being alive, being categorically among the living, makes your self-love the path of less resistance. It only seemed hard when you excluded yourself from the realm of the living, but you're no manufactured good. You're actually, in truth, like the plants, like the animals, like your friends and neighbors and every child being born today. And that's who you are. It is inclusive and totally unhypocritical to love yourself too. It counts everyone in who is a living human being who's in your life. At baseline, you have all the worth of life and all the worth of a human being on top and all the worth of being the only individual who's you on top of that, even if you're just sitting and breathing or falling asleep at night or on vacation somewhere. At baseline, doing nothing else, you get to feel the worth and value of being among the living, so that you never appraise yourself as less than a dog or a potted plant. And you can feel additionally the worth and the value of being among human life. And then you never need to appraise yourself as less than a new neighbor or a lifelong friend. And you're also the only individual on the planet who is you. No one else stands at the confluence of everything you've been through, everything you've read and heard, everything you've thought and felt, every opinion that you have, every song you've heard, every conversation you've had, everyone you've loved. Only you can tell your story. And those who are close to you recognize this, even while those who are distant from you do not. Even a dog can recognize this, because they'd definitely be able to sniff out an imposter claiming to be you. Even just sitting and breathing, you can feel at this baseline the value of one living, breathing human individual. Whenever we feel worthless, it's not that we've lost any aliveness, nor humanity, nor individuality. It's we've lost sight of all of this, which is why my words bring your attention back to these concrete, ongoing material realities that you remain among the living and among human beings and among individuals. Fully accounting for all of this makes self-love the path of less resistance. It's just if we fail to account for all of this, that's where it becomes harder. I mean, we can neglect a plastic plant. We can ignore a stuffed animal with no suffering caused. But the rules for how we treat life, and particularly human life, are based in love and nurturance and care. In a world that's often unloving and uncaring, you are the one who's going to remedy the gaps for you, just as you wish for every friend, every family member to remedy the gaps in their environment, using their self-love and their self-care. You shall remedy gaps left by your environment when those around you are not loving or accepting or respectful or caring enough. And in adulthood, you get to do this for yourself with an adult heart and an adult mind. I'm not asking a child to love themselves. I'm asking one with all the sophistication of an adult who's at your current age to love themselves. More and more, you can recognize in your humanity a kind of intrinsic and constant and inviolable worth and dignity, such that 8 billion human beings deserve to be treated with respect and dignity, including you. Not excluding you, but including you. The same conscience that treats even strangers on the sidewalk with fundamental respect and dignity will only permit you to treat yourself in the privacy of your head and heart or in the world out there with respect and dignity. And from head to toe, you can feel how this self-witnessing of even these basic realities about you, being alive, being human, being the only you on the planet, which makes you the world-class example of you on the planet, it permits you to be as you are quite comfortably. If there's no mold to fit into, if there's nothing to shape or sculpt or scrub out. If you're all right in your humanness and your aliveness, and you're all right in your individuality, which is the thing that makes you different from others, then self-love becomes the path of less resistance. Now, your path to self-loving also goes through a witnessing of where your glass is half full. Just like the way we'll love a friend is by recognizing the qualities our friend possesses and without comparison with any hypothetical friends. The way you'd love a child is without comparison to other children or hypothetical children that might exist somewhere in the world. The way you'd even love a dog or a cat is by appreciating the cat that you have, even if they have only one eye and 3 legs and the ears are kind of frostbitten. When you love the cat you have, by witnessing the cat you have, love is the path of less resistance. Your sight will not be obstructed by judgment, by criticism, by cynicism, by negativity, by comparison. When you witness clearly the animal you have, then loving the animal is the path of less resistance. You would even love a pair of shoes by ceasing to shop for other shoes and appreciating the pair that you bought with your good taste previously. So your path to loving yourself is going to go straight through acceptance of the person you are with all that you've got. It's acceptance of the height you have, the eyes you have, the nose you have, the jawline you have. It's acceptance of the life path you have, the career you have, the friends you have, the place you're already living. It's through acceptance of the tastes you have, the preferences you have, the values you have, the likes and dislikes that you have. Because that's when you witness yourself as the living, breathing, human individual you are, and you cannot be compared to anyone else. Self-loving is the path of less resistance. When you can see yourself so clearly, it might begin as a less familiar perspective, but tonight it's starting to become familiar with a little bit of outside guidance. And later on tonight, after my guidance is just a memory, you can keep up these kinds of thoughts and notice how there's no magic in my office. You already have the magic by virtue of being you. A tiger who's been raised by wolves might believe she's an inferior wolf, but only until she stops comparing herself to wolves and just tries to be the very best tiger she can be, and then she embraces her orange striped fur and roar and her retractable claws, and then she can come to her full power and beauty as a tiger. You are never an inferior version of anyone else's ideals for you. You're not an inferior version of the perfect child, the perfect human resource, or the perfect anything or anybody. You're an individual, and the only example of you on the planet. More and more as you foster love within yourself, to count yourself in, you can feel better connected with your friends, with your family, with neighbors, with colleagues, with any animals in your life. Because now it's everyone who gets your positive regard without exception. To uphold one universal standard for how you shall treat yourself is easier than to have a double standard where everyone else gets your love and everyone else gets positive regard by default and everyone else gets the benefit of the doubt and some forgiveness. And then you had this whole other set of rules for yourself. Let us abolish the double standards. Let us say no thank you to the exceptions others had made for you. Let's say not a chance to any ways you had been excluded from humanity, or excluded from life on earth, or excluded from individuals. Being a living human being means you have something in common with 8 billion people. And being an individual means you can't quite be compared exactly to anyone else in this world. And both are true at the same time. Now, good people think or even say variations of the phrase, no thank you, in a world where not everyone around you has their priorities in order and not everyone exercises sound moral reasoning. A few decades ago, a woman named Rosa Parks said no, which was the correct answer. And then we remember her name and have forgotten the name of the bus driver or the cops who arrested her. Good people are permitted to say no thank you where others have not exercised sound moral reasoning. You are permitted to think and to say no thank you, no, not a chance, absolutely not, I can't abide that, you have to leave now, or even ruder variations of that last phrase. And still assess yourself to be a good person, and I hope you can go the rest of your life and never have to say any of that to anyone. But you're gonna walk around with those kinds of phrases in your back pocket, knowing that should the circumstances require it, you're perfectly able and willing to preserve your self-respect, and your self-love, and your self-acceptance by rejecting other people's bad ideas. Where the bad ideas got in your head earlier in your life, well, you don't have to say it. You can just think, wow, that's someone else's distorted views of me. I reject it. Out of 8 billion people, you are the highest authority over you, and there isn't even a contest. You're the one person who's been through everything you've been through. You're the one person who's in it for the long haul for sure. You do get to form opinions of yourself. You do get to disagree with the appraisals of others if you think their appraisals are not based on any close examination of you. You can permit yourself to think or even to say out loud, no thank you and absolutely not, and other such phrases as needed to preserve all this self-loving and recognition that you're definitely a living human individual. Now, if everyone always recognized you're definitely a living human being and they shall treat you accordingly, if everyone always recognized you're an individual, you have to be talked to as an individual, then, well, you'll seldomly ever have to tell someone to go away. In the world you live in, sometimes the correct answer is no. And sometimes the correct answer is absolutely not. You can assess yourself to be a good person, giving the correct answer where you assess with your own conscience, with your own moral reasoning, that no is the correct answer. In these situations, any variation of the word yes would not just be incorrect, it would be a betrayal of your own self. Previously, your self-love had been hampered by self-betrayal. You can't have both at the same time. Recognizing you are the one person who was there at the beginning and will be there at the end, you can be loyal to yourself. You can be faithful to yourself and still keep your friends and keep your family. At least the members of your family who also recognize you are your own person, who treat you according to the basic facts that you're definitely a living, adult, individual human being. More and more, you can feel that 100% of you is all right. 100% of you is acceptable, lovable, worthy, valuable, as you already are, with no alterations, with no changes to your nature nor to your material circumstances. When in the future you evolve, well, you can love yourself now, you can love yourself at that future point. It is normal over a lifetime to evolve your thinking, to become further developed and more sophisticated over time. But at no point, whether at the age of 5 or 15 or 35 or 55, do you ever need to betray or abandon yourself. You're going to be like the tiger who knows they're a tiger and makes no excuses for it. It is the healthy animal that bares teeth and growls to assert her territory and prevent a fight that would be inevitable if her territory were to be invaded. The human equivalent of that is much more civilized. It's to use words, perfectly fine words, like no thank you, or I respectfully disagree, or I see things quite differently. Every thought you have in the range of absolutely yes to absolutely not is acceptable for thinking and speaking out loud. It's not just thoughts in the half that's agreeable, that's acceptable. Every thought, from absolutely yes to absolutely not, is in the acceptable range. And that's when you can exercise your full morality. That's when you can best take care of yourself by feeling your heart and being as completely you as you can be. Now, I'll have you take everything you've heard me say here. I've done my best to describe you as the person you are, so that you can walk out unaltered, but having gazed within yourself to see much more clearly and deeply the person you were yesterday and are today and will be tomorrow as well. As I count you up, begin to bring your attention outward and feel energy return with every count up. 1, become aware of your body on the cushions, become aware of every breath, which brings increasing energy into your system. That's right. 2, become alert, become aware as to how your outlook on the rest of tonight and tomorrow and beyond might have changed. It's not just because I spoke to you, it's because when someone speaks to you something deeply truthful, something so truthful you can see it every single day, well, you can't unsee that thing. 2, 3. Notice the music fading. Become aware of the presence of other people in the room. Notice how you feel in your chair, in your body, and notice how your body's more comfortable. Not because it's altered, but because it's more accepted. It's more loved. It's more seen and recognized and understood. And you're the one who's been doing that witnessing, more than me. You're the one who's been doing that witnessing. 4, then feel a huge wave of energy. Start from the very bottoms of your feet and go all the way up to the very top of your head, making you feel refreshed, making you feel energized, making you feel good so that you're ready to be back in the world out here as the person you are and knowing it. And 5, as it all sinks in, then open your eyes and return fully back to this room out here.